Everybody, welcome on this learning platform. We are to do Stone Soup in Bohemia, that is chapter 6 of English literature. When we discuss about the story, have you ever befooled anyone? Means for something you have made fool someone. किसी को बेवकूफ़ बनाया है. If you are to choose between intelligence and money, what would you opt for? Give reasons for your choice. Obviously, I guess all of you will choose what? Money? No, intelligence, because from intelligence you can earn money. So let's read the story, the interesting story which tells you something, which teaches you something, that what you should have instead of something else. In Europe, in the old days, soldiers returning from war used to roam around. Roam means इधर उधर भटकने लगते, घूमते थे. Around in the countryside. Countryside means village. In the village, they depend partly upon the kindness of the populace. Populace means the common people, and partly, as we shall see in this tale, upon their own sharp wits. Means कुछ वो मर्सी पर रहते थे कि भाई उन्हें जो वहाँ के कॉमन पीपल हैं वो हेल्प कर दे, या फिर अपने इंटेलिजेंस या शार्प विट्स, ह्यूमर. 3 or 4 सेंचुरीज मतलब 3 या 400 साल पहले. इट्स द स्टोरी अबाउट विच हैपेंड 300 or 400 years ago in Bohemia. A soldier reached a small village. It was a drab means that was gloomy, not so very welcoming. शायद थोड़ी गरीबी भी थी वहाँ पर. Threadbare means that is damaged. Drab means which has a dull appearance, not so very happening bright, and it is threadbare is shabby or damaged kind of place. But he walked into the village square and unloaded. Unloaded means अपने आप के सामान को वो नीचे रख दिया. His unloaded his meager kit. Meager means कम, मतलब हल्का फुल्का, not so very महंगा, cheap. Meager kit, a rough leather pack, a horsehair blanket, and an iron cauldron. Cauldron means dekchi, which he carried on his back like a hump. Hump होता है जैसे ऊँट का ऐसा करके निकला हुआ रहता है ना, ऊँट का कुबर, that is hump. Stretching himself, losing his coat and taking his boots off, he settled down on the pavement for the night. So he was about to take rest in the pavement. Almost at once he felt a certain hostility. See the meaning of hostility: an extreme unfriendly attitude among the passers-by. A grumpy means who is nagging for something. Resentment means feeling of anger. I suppose you think we are going to feed you, said one sly old man. Sly means a person who is cunning or deceitful, who is that kind of nature, that is cunning natured man. One sly old man leaning on his stick as he watched the soldier. Well, I'll have you know, young man, that I am the burgomaster of the village. Burgomaster means chief magistrate. It means the mukhia of the house, village, and I will tolerate no good for nothing here. I will tolerate no good for nothing here. मुझे यहाँ पर कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए. We have mouths of our own to think of. मतलब दिस मुखिया है, ये गांव का चीफ मैजिस्ट्रेट है, तो वो बोल रहा है कि मुझे यहाँ पर कोई भी ऐसा बंदा नहीं चाहिए कि हम अपने ही लोगों का पेट नहीं भर पा रहे हैं, और इसलिए हमें और कोई नहीं चाहिए. सो आई विल टॉलरेट नो गुड फॉर नथिंग. मतलब गुड फॉर नथिंग जो होंगे, जो जिससे फ़ायदा नहीं होगा, वो उन लोगों को टॉलरेट नहीं करने वाले हैं. Do you hear me, young man? said this horrid person. ये जो डरावना इंसान था. उसने कहा कि क्या मेरे को सुन रहे हो यंग मैन? The soldier heard all too clearly, but if only because the burgomaster was now bellowing at the top of his voice. Bellowing means ज़ोर ज़ोर से बोलना, sound noise करके, ताकि और भी लोग उसको सुन पाए. And the little crowd that had gathered around him was echoing. Echoing means सारे लोग एक जैसा भाषा बोलने लगे. His words with every sign of approval. मतलब अप्रूवल किसको अप्रूव कर रहे थे? बर्गोमास्टर को. Not a bean will I give him. A woman with a wart on his nose was saying. Wart means होता है growth of muscles, or you can say the massa thing on the face. Not a single pea pod. कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है. एक pea pod भी नहीं मिलेगा. मतलब एक मटर का एक दाना भी नहीं मिलेगा. We are respectable folk here, said another. Soon the whole square was murmuring. मतलब सारे लोग एक जैसा बात बोल करके आवाज़ आने लगा. And the soldier might well have been forgiven if he had felt a little despondent. Despondent means that he might have got disheartened by the response of the villagers, but he showed no such displeasure in front of the villagers. In fact, he was not disheartened at all, for he was extremely cheerful. He swept off his red cap, made a mock bow to the assembly. Assembly में जो इकट्ठे हुए थे उसके सामने बो किया. Winked at the woman with the wart on her nose and said, "All right, friends, all right, Mr. Burgomaster. Sir, don't worry. I won't ask a thing of you. I'll just spend the night here. मैं कुछ नहीं मांगने वाला हूँ, बस रात बिताऊँगा. If I may, minding my own business, and in the morning I will be on my way. I know how you all feel, and I don't blame you for it. We are old soldiers. We can be a nuisance sometimes." अब ये विलेजेस को ही सपोर्ट कर दिया कि हाँ, सोल्जर्स उतने अच्छे नहीं होते हैं, वो कभी कभी न्यूसेंस क्रिएट करते हैं, परेशानी का कारण बनते हैं दूसरों के लिए. तो मैं आप लोगों को, विलेजेस को ब्लेम नहीं करूँगा. बस मैं आज रात में रहूँगा. एंड इन द मॉर्निंग आई विल बी लिविंग. नो, डोंट यू वरी. आई विल जस्ट क्लीन अप माई कॉल्ड्रन. कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है. मैं अपना अभी ये जो जिसमें खाना बनाऊँगा वो उसको साफ़ करूँगा. एंड ही रब्ड द इनसाइड ऑफ द pot in a desultory sort. Desultory sort of way means that without paying much of the attention in a manner that he is least, he just changed the topic, that he is going to do what he has not planned. With a spotted handkerchief, just prepare the crockery and make myself a nice ball of stone soup. Now he is playing the trick now that he spotted with a spotted handkerchief. Just prepare the crockery and I make myself a nice bowl of stone soup. वो अपने लिए stone soup बनाने जा रहा है. Now see the look of villagers. These are villagers and this is soldier. And so saying, he pulled out his pack 2 large stones, popping them, मतलब उसको पॉप कर दिया. किस में? कॉल्ड्रन में. He filled it up with water from the village pump, lit a fire of sticks and settled down upon the ground to wait for the brew to boil. ये जो brew क्या होता है? एक पीने वाला जो मटेरियल होता है, that is brew. The villagers looked on stupefied. What is the meaning of stupefied? Means when a person is unable to think in a coherent way. Means the villagers were unable to think or feel properly कि what actually he is going to do, this soldier is going to do. Stone soup? Was the man mad? Just stone in the water. What kind of stones? Was he a magician? Who has ever heard of such a dish? Stone soup, ran the murmur around the square. Now they were not knowing any such kind of dish, so they were all full of questions, full of curiosity, eagerness that what he is going to cook and what the qualities that soup might have. All right, said the soldier, stirring the pot with a wooden spoon. Don't upset yourself. मतलब ज़्यादा परेशान मत हो. It is just a little prehistoric recipe. Prehistoric recipe मतलब काफ़ी पुराना recipe है. I picked up in the foreign presented to me by a saint. एक फॉरेन सेंट ने इसकी रेसिपी मुझे बताई है. इन ग्रैटिट्यूड मतलब उस सोल्जर ने उस सेंट का लाइफ सेव किया था, तो उस ग्रैटिट्यूड में उस सेंट ने वो रेसिपी उससे बताई थी. When threatened by wild animal, these two stones have the power to brew for me the most delicious, the most mouth-watering soup that ever man tasted. अब वो अपने delicious dish का that stone soup का he is advertising and making people curious that he is having such a thing that nobody could resist it. Now, stone soup from China, arch, and taking a little of water in his spoon, he in a baffled silence, एकदम silence होकर के, baffled means confusing, मतलब सब लोग confused थे. This is the very same soup that Alexander drank the night before he stormed the pyramids. Now see how he is playing with the words and framing the story. Stone soup from China. Alexander ने भी यही सूप पिया था क्यों पिरामिड को जब जीतने गया था. The soup for heroes. You all look friendly enough. Just a bit more water. That's it. Stock up the fire. Give it a stir. Through. There we are then. Enough for us. Look a friendly lot of people. I like your faces. और सच्चाई तो ये था कि शायद वो गांव वालों को पसंद नहीं कर रहा था, बट because he wanted, he has some motive, so he started flattering the villagers कि भाई आप लोग बहुत अच्छे हो और मुझे आप लोगों का चेहरा बहुत पसंद आ रहा है, तो suppose I make a bit extra for you. The cauldron is बिग इनफ. अब वो प्ले किया एक ट्रिक कि भाई मेरे पास एक्स्ट्रा है. वो कर क्या रहा था एक्चुअली, ही वॉज जस्ट बॉइलिंग द स्टोन इन वाटर एंड ही वॉज सपोज टू सर्व वाटर टू ऑल द विलेजेस बाई टेलिंग दैट दिस वाटर हैज़ all the delicacies, all the delicious ingredients, and it has the magical power. So he has offered the soup to the villager. That's it. Stock up the fire, give it a stir. There we are. और उसका रेसिपी बन गया कि थोड़ा आग जलाओ, उसको स्टीयर करो और ये रेडी. Enough for us to have a bowl full. सभी लोगों के एक बाउल के लिए तो हो ही गया. The citizens were taken aback. सब लोग सरप्राइज हो गया. Are you trying to tell me? Said the burgomaster severely. Just all you need to make a soup is just those 2 stones and pot full of water. That's all, sir, replied the soldier. Nothing more nor less. अब ये बोल तो दिया. उसने पूछा कि बस इतना की ज़रूरत है, तो सोल्जर ने कहा कि भाई नथिंग मोर नो लेस, ना थोड़ा ज़्यादा ना थोड़ा कम, बस 2 स्टोन एंड पानी एंड बॉयल इट एंड यू हैव अ सूप. टेल यू वांट स्टोन, टेल यू व्हाट, एक बात बोलूँ, स्टोन सूप इज़ इवन बेटर, इवन मोर ब्रेथ टेकिंगली वंडरफुल. मतलब ब्रेथ टेकिंगली वंडरफुल मतलब इतना खूबसूरत कि सांस रुक जाए. With just a pinch of garlic or a carrot brings out the flavor, and you know cauliflower is the next best thing. Anybody got a bit of green stuff to throw in now while I make sure the stones are fermenting properly. Now see how he is trying to befool the villagers. Now the peasants look at each other sheepishly and suspiciously. Sheepishly means in an embarrassing manner, or they were suspicious too, they were doubtful. Nobody wanted to move first. Nobody wanted to admit his curiosity. Everyone was curious, but nobody wanted to show their curiosity. Nobody wanted to make a fool of himself. They knew that this is just a trick, but they were very much curious and wanted to know how it could come, how the soup would come out. बट सडनली अ कॉमन इम्पल्स मीन्स अचानक से सब लोगों को लगा कि नहीं भाई कर ही डालना चाहिए. इम्पल्स में स्ट्रॉन्ग डिज़ायर टू डू समथिंग. केम दैम मतलब सब लोगों को लगा कि नहीं अब कर डालना चाहिए, कि सूप पीने का प्लान कर लिया उन लोगों ने. वेल दे सेड जस्ट अ पीस ऑफ टू कुड नॉट डू एनी हार्म. सब उन्होंने सोचा कि थोड़ा सा देने में कुछ ज़्यादा नुकसान नहीं है. अ हैंडफुल ऑफ पीस, अ पेयर ऑफ टोमेटोज, स्टोन सूप आफ्टर ऑल वॉज समथिंग न्यू इन देयर लाइफ एंड दे माइट एज वेल मेक द मोस्ट ऑफ इट. अब उन लोग के लिए पहला स्टोन सूप वो लोग पीने जा रहे थे, तो वो सोचे कि भाई जितना हो सके इसमें मदद कर दी जाए, हेल्प कर दी जाए, सो दैट एवरी वन कैन हैव द टेस्ट ऑफ स्टोन सूप. वन बाय वन दे स्लिप्ड अवे एंड केम बैक विद अ कंट्रीब्यूशन. सभी लोग अपनी अपनी तरफ से कुछ कुछ ले आए स्टोन सूप में डालने के लिए. प्लस वेंट हाफ अ टर्निप, इन वेंट अ पोटैटो, इन वेंट cabbage and onions and peas until the brew was marvelously thick and fragrant. And you could, fragrant means खुशबू आने लगी उसमें से, and you could not see those two stones for the bubbles and richness of it. और इस अब इतना थिक हो गया ये सारे कंट्रीब्यूशन से कि स्टोन्स अब दिख ही नहीं रहा था, इतना रिच वो सूप बन गया था. Splendid, said the soldier. Oh, what a dinner! Oh, what a dinner we are going to have, one and all of us in this benevolent and hospitable village. Such a beautiful village where they are going to have it. It is not every night of the week that you have stone soup in Bohemia. Hey, Mr. Burgomaster, sir. And thus carrying them along with a joke for an old woman, a dig at a portly merchant, a little factory for the burgomaster, and a flood of anecdotes. Anecdotes means short story based on personal experience. He was so witty that he was able to engage all the villagers in the conversation. So this soldier is quite smart. The soldier had all the citizens sitting around him, wondering. The soldier had all the citizens sitting around him, wondering and expectant, until at last the soup was ready. Its nourishing vapors were wafting. Wafting means moving gently around through the air. कुछ खाना टेस्टी बनता है तो उसका जो खुशबू चारों तरफ फैलता है, सारे लोग ईगर हो रहे थे उस सूप को पीने के लिए. A pile means ढेर. A pile of bowls had appeared and they all sat, मतलब सारे लोग अपना अपना बॉल लेकर के आ गए. And they all sat on the paving stones, the soldier in the middle, sipping the stuff with infinite satisfaction. Of course, बहुत उसको satisfaction हो रहा था वो सूप पी के, बेचारा भूखा था. And he has now made a wonderful soup for himself by the contribution of the villagers. Exquisite, said the burgomaster. शानदार, ज़बरदस्त, मतलब बहुत बढ़िया. Who prided himself on knowing about the food. मतलब जो फूड के बारे में जान रहा है वही फूड को और अच्छी तरह से बता रहा है कि भाई ये तो बहुत ही शानदार था. प्राइड हिमसेल्फ ऑन नोइंग अबाउट मैग्निफिसेंट, शानदार मीन्स, said the portly merchant, who was very fond of eating. Real tasty, I must say, observed the woman with the wart on his nose. Some part has been cut off. I am reading it for you. On the top of the great wall. Great wall. Did you say? हाँ वहाँ से आया है. They are now all friendly and conversing with each other. Asked one youth with his mouth full. मतलब सब लोग का मुंह भरा हुआ है, कोई न कोई सब लोग बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, enjoy कर रहे हैं. Mouth full. Alexander the Great, do you mean? Queried another. Stone soup, said the last of them. Stone soup, said the last of them, all at once. What a miracle, what a marvelous gift from China. सभी लोग अब इस बात को लेकर के बहुत खुश हैं कि they are now having the marvelous gift, that is stone soup from China. And the soldier chuckled to himself as he had his soup comfortably. और वो मुस्कुराया, चकल किया, मुँह जब सप्रेस्ड स्माइल दिया और अपना सूप, ये सारा कन्वर्सेशन को सुन करके he chuckled to himself as he had his soup comfortably. मज़ा आ गया उसको. By now, understanding the story, the villagers gave the soldier a very warm welcome. False. The stone had no power of making the soup. Correct. ऐसा तो power था नहीं उसके पास. The villagers added nothing to soup. False. They added something. The villagers found the soup extremely delicious. Yes, true. A Chinese had taught the soldier how to make the stew. ने scent बताया था, तो this is false statement, right? So this is it. Now you have to answer the questions, and let's move to the question answers. And yeah, this is the question answer. Stone soup in Bohemia. Let's do it. How did the soldiers react to the unwelcoming attitude of the villagers? The soldiers was not at all disheartened. Now see, and as I always say, must answer the question in the proper without any grammatical error. And when the question is in which tense, you have to follow the tense. If the question is past tense, you have to answer in past tense. Now see, the story is always told in past tense. Okay, the soldier was not at all disheartened at the unwelcoming attitude of the villagers. On the contrary, मतलब इसके उल्टा, he remained indifferent to rudeness of the villagers and displayed a cheerfulness by making a mock bow to the assembly and told he won't be a nuisance and would just spend one night. What according to the soldier was speciality of the spoon. Speciality, the spelling of specialty is wrong. Chalo, you just correct it. According to the soldier, those two stones had the power to brew the most delicious and mouth-watering soup that ever a man tasted. It was the foreign recipe presented to him by Saint. By having that soup, a person becomes hero and can win anybody. मतलब स्टोन सूप का जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट किया उसने, अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट जो भी वो पिएगा उसको एकदम दुनिया वो जीत लेगा. वाई डिड द विलेजर्स इनिशियली हेजिटेट टू ऐड एनीथिंग टू द सूप? द विलेजर इनिशियली, देखो दिस इज वर्ब एंड हियर द पास्ट टेंस ऑफ वर्ब इज यूज्ड. द विलेजर इनिशियली hesitated to add anything to the soup as they were doubtful about the soup. Nobody wanted to move first or to admit his curiosity. No villagers wanted to make a fool of himself, but suddenly a common impulse overcame them, and all they started believing the soldier's word. Now next question, what comment did the various villagers make on the quality of the soup? The villagers made various comments on the quality of the soup, like burgomaster called it exquisite, portly merchant said it was magnificent, the woman called it real tasty, and someone called it a miracle, marvelous gift from China. All these adjectives, all these were told about the soup. Now hots are higher order thinking skill that you have to think in a more deep, more intense way. What are the various methods that the soldier adopted to be friendly with the villagers? Now what were the methods that he adopted? उसने कौन सा method को अपनाया था? The various methods that the soldiers adopted to be friendly with the villagers are flattery, मतलब वो बिना मतलब का तारीफ किया. As he carried them along with a joke for an old woman, a dig at a portly merchant, a little false praise for the burgomaster, and told a flood of anecdotes. Anecdotes means शॉर्ट स्टोरी बेस्ड ऑन पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस. वो अपना एक्सपीरियंस बता करके सारे लोगों को एंटरटेन किया और सबकी तारीफ़ करके वो सब लोगों को अपना फ़ैन बना लिया. ही मेड पीपल अराउंड क्यूरियस ऑफ हिज स्टोन सूप. ही वीव्ड एन इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी टू रेज देयर इंटरेस्ट इन हिम एंड द सूप. दोनों चीज़ में उन लोगों ने, सोल्जर ने किस में, दोनों में इंटरेस्ट जगा दिया, खुद में और सूप में. ही इवन प्रेज्ड द विलेजर्स बाय कॉलिंग देम friendly and call the villagers benevolent and hospitable. Hospitable means जो कि welcome करता है गेस्ट को, and benevolent means well meaning and मतलब kindly. Villagers were kind. Okay, so this is hot. Now life skill, as I always tell you, that is the skill that you acquire in order to have a good life. successful life. Presence of mind is more important asset than wealth or strength. Explain. Of course, it is quite apt that presence of mind is more important asset than wealth or strength, as using presence of mind one can overcome any difficult situation that money and wealth cannot do. Presence of mind means ability to think and remain calm in any delicate situation, just like the soldier. Even he was hungry and he was denied the welcome attitude of the villagers. He was denied of any food, but still he did not lose his calmness, he did not lose heart. Instead, he used his presence of mind and acted that way that he did not sleep empty stomach. In such situation, if people have presence of mind, they can think wisely and resolve such problems. Presence of mind helps person to think effectively. Of course, the soldier was quite effective due to his presence of mind, and the person is able to solve the situation quickly. Now, and the soldier chuckled to himself. Why did the soldier do so? Chuckle means a suppressed smile. Okay. The soldier chuckled to himself because he had succeeded. Succeeded, the spelling of succeeded is wrong, I guess. Succeeded in befooling. Succeeded, the spelling is wrong here. In befooling the villagers and had managed his meal from the villagers. He was a confident man of great wisdom and wit, that even a strange place he did not sleep hungry. He did it to suppress. What he did? He chuckled. He did it to suppress his happiness or laughter, as he managed to befriend to the hostile villagers and got success in having his supper and shelter. Right? This is about why did he smile? Because he was happy at the end of the day. Now, report writing, as it has been told, as report is a written account of something that one has observed, heard, or done, or investigated. It is a systematic and well organized presentation of facts and findings of an event that has already taken place somewhere. That is report writing. I repeat, report writing is a systematic writing where a reporter writes about something which has happened, or he has observed something, or he has heard from somewhere. So it is a systematic and well organized presentation of facts and findings of an event that has already taken place somewhere, of course. So let's write the report, the title of the report, and the place and date. You can see this is the report, small report. Yeah, this is simply a report where the reporter is reporting about the stone soup. So while you write a report, you give a catchy title so that people get interested to read your report. Okay, so this says the stone soup is quite a talk of the town. It was amazing to know how a soldier used his wits to satisfy his hunger. The soldier who returned from war was not welcomed by the villagers of Bohemia, as he used his wit and intelligence to feed himself. The soldier came to this village, felt the hostility of the people towards him. He simply started making stone soup by boiling stone in water and boasted the deliciousness and its magical effect on a person who had it. He kept stirring the soup and said that the soup was prehistorical recipe. These stone had the power to brew the most delicious and mouth-watering soup. All these were fake, na? He made the villagers curious and told them tales related to the stone soup. He further added that if some vegetable were added to the soup, it would become tastier. He was able to make people contribute some vegetables to the soup. The villagers enjoyed the soup and called it magnificent, real tasty, exquisite, a miracle, a marvelous gift from China. Sara tarif ho gaya. In this way, the soldier satisfied his hunger and the stone soup became famous in the village. He befooled the villagers by framing a false yet convincing story. Later, people realized कि ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता है. तो the reporter found out, investigated the thing. He wrote everything what the soldier did, and later he said that he befooled the people there. So this is report writing. So dear students, thank you, and this is the story of Bohemia, Stone Soup of Bohemia. Hope you have understood the story, you have understood the question answer, you have understood how to write the report. So thank you. Bye. Bye bye. Stay safe.